Picture this. You're 17, in a smoky nightclub in Dusseldorf. You're a shy law student to be. When someone taps your shoulder and says, "Ever thought about being the face of Chanel?" That's exactly how Claudia Schiffer's life flipped upside down before she could even pronounce the word supermodel. Born on August 25, 1970, in the quiet town of Rheinberg, Germany, Claudia grew up in a peaceful family. Her father a lawyer, her mother a homemaker. From a young age, she had high ambitions. She dreamed of following in her father's footsteps and studying law. Known for being shy and reserved, she often kept to herself at school, though her tall frame made her stand out. In the mid-1980s, while the fashion world was being shaken by the rise of Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, and Linda Evangelista, Claudia was still focused on her grades. Back then, modeling was seen as something for beauty pageant winners or bold personalities, not for quiet, small-town girls like her. At the time, she didn't even know what a runway was. She was more concerned with legal briefs than fashion spreads. In 1987, at a nightclub in Dusseldorf, Claudia was spotted by model agent Michel Levitin. That chance encounter became the turning point of her life. From dreaming of courtrooms, she suddenly found herself stepping into the spotlight of fashion catwalks. She moved to Paris, did a few test shoots, and by 1988, she was on the cover of Elle. Her breakthrough came with Guess Jeans campaigns, which made her a sensation in the United States. Guess was one of the brands that helped popularize the idea of the supermodel, and Claudia became their brightest star after Cindy Crawford. These campaigns catapulted her to international fame. One week, she was studying for law exams. The next, her face was on billboards across America. The law books had been replaced by fashion magazines overnight. In the early 90s, Claudia was already making waves in the fashion world. But the real turning point came when Chanel's legendary creative director Karl Lagerfeld looked at her and said, "This is the Chanel woman." When Lagerfeld's vision met Claudia's elegance, it was like a modern-day fairy tale unfolding. Karl didn't just put clothes on her, he etched her name into fashion history. On the runways of Paris, that tall blonde silhouette in Chanel's gold-embroidered jackets became a permanent image in the minds of every fashion editor. Then came 1992, and the record-breaking deal with Revlon that made Claudia the highest-paid supermodel in the world. Back then, the numbers were jaw-dropping. The press wrote, "Claudia can earn in one smile what the average American makes in 10 years. But even more striking was this. With over 1,000 magazine covers, Claudia entered the Guinness Book of World Records. In fashion terms, that's like climbing Mount Everest. One cover shoot would wrap, and she'd be in the makeup chair for the next. A photographer once said, 'When she poses, everyone in the studio holds their breath.'" In 1993, Claudia's life got a truly magical twist. David Copperfield. They met in Las Vegas, and from that moment, tabloid headlines screamed, "The love story of fashion and illusion." They weren't just dating. Claudia appeared in Copperfield's shows, floating in midair, vanishing from boxes, and suddenly reappearing on stage. The audience was mesmerized, partly by the magic, partly by her undeniable glow. But the press wouldn't leave the couple alone. Headlines questioned, is it true love or just another grand illusion? Still, Claudia never let herself get dragged into cheap tabloid drama. Even at the peak of her fame, she kept her distance, walking one graceful step ahead of the gossip. As one columnist wrote at the time, she floated in the air but never fell into the rumors. By the late 90s, Claudia was not only ruling the catwalk, but also popping up on Hollywood sets. In Richie Rich, she played a glamorous rich girl. In Zoolander, she made a playful cameo poking fun at the fashion world. And her short but memorable scene in Love Actually was a sweet surprise for moviegoers. Still, acting was never meant to be her main career. Fashion was her home, and the runway was her stage. Movie sets were just colorful pit stops along the way. In her personal life, another major chapter was unfolding. In 1994, she met filmmaker Matthew Vaughn, and over time their relationship deepened, leading to marriage in 2002. For the first time in her career, Claudia slowed her pace and focused on family. The couple moved to Coldham Hall, a 16th century Tudor-style mansion in Suffolk, England. The press joked, from the runway to the countryside, but for Claudia, it wasn't an escape, it was the peace she had been looking for. Claudia and Matthew welcomed 3 children, Casper, Clementine, and Cosima. These years marked a slower pace in her public life, but also a time of creative expansion. In 2011, she launched her own cashmere collection and later branched into eyewear, footwear, and ceramics. Her Gudrun ceramic collection was dedicated to her mother, a small but meaningful gesture that reflected her deep family values. In the summer of 2025, Claudia reappeared in major campaigns for Balenciaga, Versace, and Chloé. The fashion press dubbed her the Queen of the Comeback, though, in truth, she had never really left. Alongside her husband, she became a minority shareholder in Premier League football club Brentford, a move that showed she could conquer arenas far beyond the runway. She's chasing glory not just on the catwalk, but on the football pitch too. Maybe coaching is next on her list. From a shy, small-town girl to the most photographed woman in the world, Claudia Schiffer's story isn't just about beauty. It's about timing, reinvention, and the art of stepping into the spotlight at exactly the right moment. She didn't just walk the runway, she owned an entire era. From small-town girl to the most photographed woman in the world, and now into your YouTube recommendations, but only if you subscribe. Trust me, Karl Lagerfeld would have clicked that button.